Hello, I'm Terence, back again with another video about language learning. And today, and for those of you who don't know, I make videos. I try to make every single day. I make videos about language learning and my progresses, my techniques, my progresses, or my journeys on learning languages until I become a polyglot. And a polyglot, for those of you who don't know, is someone who speaks many languages, not just one, not just two, not just three. It could be 5, it could be 6, or there are someone who actually speak 20 languages, 20 to 25, and I heard that there is someone out there who speaks 30 languages. So okay, today I'm going to be talking about an article in Fluent U. Fluent U is a language learning website that support language learning and post blog posts that speak about or talk about language learning, anything that's correlated or related, anything that have a relation to language learning. So there were an article that I read a few days ago or the other day. It was about language learning myth. So in language learning we got myth. We got myths that are stopping people from learning languages, from learning more language, from learning more than English. So in the end of this list, I'm going to be adding one more myth that I see actually every single day. Okay, so starting from the first one, that you are too old. You are too old to learn a language. And the answer is no, a big no. You're not too old. I'm going to be giving you two examples of the most widely known polyglots. Those two are Stephen Krashen. I think he's around 70-ish, because he's been in this field for, starting from already by 1980. He's already in this field. And the second one is Steve Kaufman. Steve Kaufman is 73 years old. He could be my grandpa. So he is 73 and he got 20 languages under his belt. 20 languages from different places, from Asia, from Europe. So the answer is no, you're not too old. Even this 70 years old man got 20 languages under his belt. And maybe you're saying, or you're thinking that, oh, he takes lots of time to learn those languages. Of course he got 20 languages. He's older, and Steve is older than me by 30 years, 37 years. And you could probably say, somebody would say, he has been spending 30 years in learning a language. And we move on to the second factor, the second myth, that it takes too much time or forever to learn a language. No, again, a big no. Okay, so the previous two examples that I showed you was people who are 70-ish years old. Now the other one is Timothy Donner. He is around 20 until 25 or 27 years old. He got famous around the age of 17 until 20, and by that time he got 20 languages under his belt. 20 languages by 20 years old. Now he got all of those languages by, he spent 3 years, starting from 17 until 20, or around 20 until 23. He spent 3 years, 3 years to get those, until he got those 20-ish languages. So no, it doesn't take forever. It just, it all comes back to you. You focus, by managing your time, and etc., and many other things. So no, the answer is no. It doesn't take forever. It doesn't take too much time. It depends on you again. Okay, the next one would be that the opposite of taking forever, that it takes no time at all. No. Okay, so let me get this straight. Everything that's there, everything that are called instant, everything that is called instant is not long lasting. It's a myth. Something is instant is a myth. Even instant food is not good for you. So no, it doesn't take no time at all. Okay, so there are many examples that I could give you, but just it's logical that it doesn't take no time at all, because it needs process. It needs process, starting from understanding or being familiar with the language, and then understanding the language until to the point that you could speak the language as a native, or as good as a native does. So yeah, it takes time, not too long but not too fast either. So neither too fast or neither too long. Again, it comes back to you, how you go at it. And the last one in the list, oh wait, sorry, it's the fourth one in the list, that you can't learn more than one at a time. No. So again, take Tim Donner from America. He was 17. He spent around 3 years starting from 17 until 20 years old. So imagine 3 years, 20 languages. It got to be like that, right? He got to be learning those languages at the same time. Well, maybe not 20 at the same time, but maybe, in a month he could be, or in 6 months he could be learning 3 languages at the same time, or in a year he could be learning, 20 by divided by 3 would be 6, around 6. So maybe 1 year he could be learning 3 or 6 languages by a year, or in a year. So yeah, it's possible. Steve Kaufman did it, Stephen Krashen did it, Tim Donner, or I don't know about Stephen Krashen, okay, so I take that back, but Tim Donner did it. So why couldn't you? Why can't you? You can, of course. And the last in the list is that there's Google Translate, there's internet. Well guys, hate to break this to you, but no, it's wrong. Of course Google Translate can translate the words for you, translate the sentences for you, but they can't interpret words. Okay, I'm going to be giving you one example. Sarcasm. Of course anyone knows sarcasm. Being sarcastic means that you don't actually mean what you're saying. You don't actually mean, again, what you're saying, or whatever it is you're communicating, right? So one example is, for example, like this. Sorry, I'm fixing the camera angle. So one example is this, that imagine that there's this guy that's really stupid or wrong in the head. He got few screw loose in his head, and of course he is stupid, right? I'm sorry to say, but he's stupid. And I say this to him: wow, you're really smart, man. I can't even I can't imagine how could you be that smart. This is sarcasm. right? I'm saying that he is smart, but I don't mean to say that he is, you know? This is sarcasm. And Google Translate can't translate this. How could you? I mean, so in a language is more than, you know, translating words by words or sentences by sentences. It got more meanings, so, you know, because again, in my previous video I talked about how language is in a way a representation of way of thinking of a person or of a group of people in a region, or again, so it's more, it represents culture, it represents lots of things. So no, you can't just, you know, say it as Google Translate. I'm sorry, but no. Of course, if you want to depend on Google Translate, it's not wrong either. You can. And the last one is from my own observation, is that, and I believe that many people, you know, my own observation, what I mean by that is that, you know, from hearing many polyglots say this, that you got to go to the country that you're trying to, you know, you're trying to learn the language of, in order to learn the language, or in order to be fluent in the language. You got to go there. You got to go, for example, if you want to be fluent in English, you got to go to America, or you got to go to Britain, or you got to go there, you got to go this. No, the answer is no. There's this one person from I think Italy. He was from Italy, I guess, and he speaks 30 languages. And how did he do that? He did that by reading books, accessing materials online, and, you know, I think he works as an operator, so he picks up calls from around the world, and that's the way he learns all of the languages that he knows. So, you know, we got internet nowadays. You can go online and you can get really good materials. I mean, for those of you who speak, or for those of you who think that you got to go there, you got to go to your targeted country in order to learn their languages. It's, you know, people think like that because it's actually not wrong either, because you got to immerse yourself in the language. You got to surround yourself as much as possible with the language in order for you to know, in order for you to, you know, to learn the language, in order for you to learn the language faster. For example, if it's me, I'm Indonesian, and I'm surrounded by the Indonesian language every single day. That's why I got much input of Indonesian, and because I'm immersing myself in Indonesian environment, that's why I got to be fluent in the language. Well, that's how it was. But nowadays, we got YouTube, we got Google, you know, work on that, you know, use them. If you go to YouTube and you search how to speak Arabic, or how to speak this, how to speak that, or Russian language, this language, you got many materials available for you for free. So yeah, you don't have to go to the country itself to learn the language. And so those are the list, the myth that got debunked long ago, and there are still many myths that are getting debunked every single day. And that's all from me. If you like this kind of video, keep watching, subscribe, and leave a comment below. And, you know, please tell me, what do you think about these topics, about these myths. And if you don't like the video, you can give a thumbs down and, you know, tell me why, what can I improve. Peace out.